Thank you very much. For the few peers who are joining, I just briefly want to talk about a business case, a case study we did, and where we empowered one of our customers, which is the Europe's largest bicycle cooperative, and help them on their way to a digital transformation. But first of all, I briefly want to talk about who am I representing. Let's do it like this. So my name is Martin. I'm working for the company called commercetools, working there for 3.5 years now. And we are a cloud-based product completely. We are API-driven, of course, highly scalable because we are a multi-tenant platform. So what we do is essentially providing you with a commerce engine to run all your commerce processes with products, with categories, customers, cards, and everything at a very low pricing. So with a very low TCO over like 3 to 5 years. That depends. Very important to note, just recently we were actually covered in the Forrester Wave, which is one of the biggest analyst companies in the US. Most important is the key takeaways. So very low total cost of ownership, very much focused on microservice architecture. So whenever you're in this space, whenever you're in this area, we are good to go. And was our first entrance there. So now I want to talk about ZEG, which is really the biggest online cooperative for bicycles. It's actually a real juggernaut, founded over 50 years ago. So it's quite an old company. If you translate phrase by phrase, it's bicycle buying cooperative. So that's actually a collection of until now 650 different merchants, usually very, very small merchants with only one store. So very local merchants, very local dealers. And they actually using their cooperative buying power to lower the prices. So they have contracts with all big brands like Trek, Pinarello, and so on, and Giant. And they also created their own brands. So to increase the margins there, they were able to really set new standards. And these are really known brands. So Bolt's Bikes, for example. So what are we talking about? In the end, it's about digital transformation. It's about, as I explained, the company is very old. And they were not too much into a digital channel or multi-channel approach until then. So they make about 600 million in 2015. And although the online market for bicycles is actually exploding. So in 2015 already 600 million in total of the bike market in Germany was done online, which is about 15% of the 4 to 5 billion, which is the total market share. But still, that's the side of ZEG today. So that's not really appealing to anyone, neither to merchants nor to customers in the end. So we try to help them to find a way to better speak to their customers and so on. And just as how important it is. So I just used Google Trends for this, and it's basically saying buying bicycles online for Germany. And you see how this is evolving. So it's always the summer, then you have something spring, and this is 2017. So we are really on the edge that buying bicycles online will be a big thing for this year, and this is why they wanted to be in there. One of the key obstacles, one of the key targets for them, is to create a digital footprint, not only for themselves or for their merchants, but also for their own brands. So like Bolt's, like Pegasus, like Hercules, these are really well-known brands, but so far they had only very weak online presences, so they wanted to push that. On the other side, they wanted to bring also their merchants, these small retailers, these small dealers, which have only one store or maybe two, they wanted to bring them online, help them to create an online presence as well. But which is of course very hard when you have 600 different own entities, own companies running there. So you need really one solution, one platform which can deliver to all of these requirements and demands. but it also has to be customizable, because each of the dealers, they have a special approach to their customers. They have a special branding, they have own names, they have own promotions they run, they even have own products they only sell within their stores, because they actually not only buy products from ZTG but also from other wholesalers and so on. So this need all to be incorporated in this platform. And of course, when you're talking about 650 merchants, you need to have a solution which can be fired up very, very fast. So I need to be ready within hours for such a dealer. I cannot wait like 2 or 3 weeks or even months to bring such a dealer live. It has to be very smart. So, how do we do this? In the end, it was there were different approaches. First, it's a project approach, how the project was structured. Then there was the technical approach, coming more from a project first for the merchants shops, so really for the dealer platform. So it was for them about getting out very, very quick. So the first iteration was only 6 months when this whole platform was actually brought live. It was about, in the end, 3 phases. The first phase was really about business cards. So only first create a presence for the merchants to be there, to be found on the internet, to be found when actually some people are searching for these brands, for these retailers. The second phase was about displaying the products, the assortment, and also the availability. And the third phase is a really functional web shop for all of these merchants. What was then done was also the approach of creating these combined dealer platforms. So it has to consist of commerce as well as content parts, so which is also very important here. And again, focus on onboarding, focus on very, very much self-service, so that the dealers can do a lot of these things, a lot of content creation, a lot of content maintenance on their own without actually checking back with the centralized things. In the end, it looks like this. So this is a business card. This is really just the presence of the merchant. So you see just some basic framework. You see some numbers, a bit about us, so that they can be present and tell a bit about the shop. And the second phase, which is already live, is the window display. For the third phase, I talked about earlier about this iteration and everything, and there are now different approaches how to solve this, whether there will be really a functional shop for each of the retailers, or maybe they're doing a marketplace approach now. So this is really where they're in a learning and iteration phase right now. For the brand shops, we did a different approach. So we really kicked it off with a fully functional shop, first off with Bulls, which you can see here. So this is one of their markets, one of their brands. We also went live with the Pegasus shop just recently. And these pages are really, really content driven. So it's really about the brand and what the consumers are actually connecting to this brand. For example, Team Bulls, which is a professional mountain bike team, Equipe. It's already 10 years old, so it's already quite established in this sports, in this really high-level professional competition. They're covering a lot around these, and they're bringing stories together with the athletes to promoting the bikes as well, because you can really buy the bikes they're using in the World Cup and so on. From a shop perspective, from a process perspective, this was always about either direct delivery to the customer, or you can pick it up in one of the 650 merchants. So they know, this shop knows about the local inventory of the 650 merchants, and so that you were, when you were actually proceeding through the checkout, you had the chance to see where I can buy this shop, where I can buy this bicycle directly right now. So really click and collect. And also the delivery was organized by the merchants. So it was not coming from the warehouse, from the central warehouse. It was actually delivered by the merchants, so that they can also explain the consumer how to use this, how to set up the bike, what's good, what do you have to do for maintenance, and so on. So this was really a personalized experience here for the consumers as well. So this was the plan. How did it look out in the end from a technical perspective? It's a very, very complex, and so there are many dots you have to connect. You have ERP systems, you have stock systems, you have different product catalogs coming together. And this is why we had this idea about the separation of commerce and content for this project, which turned out very, very well. And this is how we usually, from commercetools perspective, see a commerce application. So you have, of course, your ERP systems at the low, which is having all the basic master data for products, for customers, and so on. You have the commerce engine, which is actually processing a lot, having business logic, price selection, the cart logic, consistent cart, order management system, and so on. And you have a rendering part, which is pushing the content towards the consumers. So in the end, of course, commercetools as commerce engine is set, no problem there. From a content part, we decided to go with Magnolia because of their ease to set up clusters, to have a multi-site approach, also with all their permission handling. It was very easy to run that because we were able to run all these merchants on one cluster of Magnolia. So there's only one Magnolia cluster which is serving all these merchants and brand sites. It's not like different systems, different instances running around. It's really just one. Makes it easier for maintenance. And it was also easier for product adjustment, so we decided to go for a centralized product catalog, which is on each of the occasions for each of the merchants is actually customized. And we, of course, then also do the ERP integrations there for the merchants. So how does this look like then? First of all, we have a master system where we have all the products, also basic price information. Then we synchronize this data into merchant-specific projects. So it's really like whenever something on the top is changing, we actually synchronize that down to the merchant-specific data. We then connect the merchant-specific ERPs, so to have their prices, to have their stocks, to really have this localized on each of these levels. And we then connected Magnolia to that. So each of these sites were then connected to one of these projects. And then it was used to render the pages, everything. So mobile, tablet, desktop applications, everything was possible to render through that approach. And every time with really specialized and localized inventory and product assortment. From a technical approach, this means so we have a multi-level design, which allowed us to bring centralized and merchant-specific data together. So this was one of the main obstacles or main targets here, and they can easily create their products within this catalog and launch this, and it was really event-driven. So we don't have any bulk or batch updates, which usually bring down all the systems. So we really are event-driven, which is just possible because of the architecture of the commercetools platform. So even when we have one product update for all 600 merchants, we don't kill the systems. So for the brand shops, quite similar. Here we just have the master where we have the product information in there and the prices and also the stocks, because the stocks are actually synced from the merchants to the master again. So that also in the centralized product catalog, they have the information about local inventories on merchants. Then we still synchronize it in a brand-specific project because they want to have their own customer database, they want to have their own order database, so this was really one of their targets. And again, the same instance, so we're using Magnolia here and rendering the information outside. So, finishing up, what was in the end the result? Until now, we have more than 150 merchants live already. So we have already 150 of these dealers with an online presence. Each of them saw significantly enhancement in visibility and an online footprint. So it was much easier for them to be found. We have these very content-rich brand pages also. So these are just some examples from Pegasus and Bulls where they can really build a connection with their customers. As we're talking about bicycles, it's important to have a really mobile-friendly approach there because they are on the road and they think about bikes when they are seeing something, so they want to search it directly. So it was really important for them to have a responsive design to drive the customer experience. And we are now, it's now possible for us to onboard a new merchant in 2 to 5 hours. So every new merchant, whenever they come with us and say, okay, we need some more graphics here, this is our product catalog, we can bring them online in 2 to 4 hours, each of them. And they learned a lot. So this was now the first step. This was now the first phase in terms of creating a presence for them. And now the second phase is about actually leveraging this presence to create the real retail, to create the real processes around that. So this wouldn't be possible without our partners. So as we are just a commerce platform, so we are just the product in the end, which has to be used correctly. Our partners are, on the one hand, it's Nexum, which is the partner agency and the solution partner, which was on site with the customer and the merchants. And on the other side, we have Magnolia, the enterprise CMS with focus on extensibility. By the way, also very good. They are now recognized as contender in web content management system for the 4-star rates. And you can also meet us here at booth D60. So whenever you have any questions about the architecture, around whatever you have seen here, or in general about commerce, content, and how this could be driving your business, please contact us.